Hello everyone, welcome back to another deck idea brought to you by Double Sleeved. Today we're covering the yellow Bardock's Crew leader coming out in Zenkai, which is not too far away now. So now that we've seen all the reveals, it's getting a bit more exciting, counting down the days before the set actually comes out. And this is one deck that I'm looking forward to playing and giving it a try. Not just because it's yellow, but because it's great to see apes come back. They were pretty big when I first got into the game, so always exciting when apes make their return. But starting off, we've got Bardock's Crew. Auto once per turn. If it's your turn, when you play a Bardock's Crew card, draw one card. And then an Awaken when your life is at 4 or less. Or there are 4 or more Bardock's Crew cards with different card names in your energy, Z energy, battle area, and or drop. You may draw one card, switch one of your energy to active mode, and add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 life left. There wasn't a rider with that text, so we're not going to be adding cards from our hand to our life, unfortunately. But yeah, interesting that they've given us all areas to kind of get those Bardock's Crew in. Be easy to get those in a bunch of different areas to be able to awaken. On our awaken side, 15k, auto once per turn. When you play a Bardock's Crew card, draw one card, so not just on our turn anymore. Auto, when this card attacks, use up to 1 yellow Bardock's Crew card with 5000 combo power from your drop in a combo with its skills negated for the turn. Great way to accumulate Z energy and also just swing in for a 20k leader each turn. Always good. And then activate main once per turn. Choose one Bardock's Crew card in your battle area, switch it to rest mode. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. We've got a lot of apes and things like that when they get switched to rest mode with our skills, they get to restand. So it's a great way to just have some free removal as well. Moving into the deck, we've got Tora, Feelings Bequeathed. It's a 1-drop, 4k counterattack. Negate the attack and play this card. Permanent. If your leader is a Bardock's Crew card and there are 4 or more Bardock's Crew cards with different card names in your energy, Z energy, battle area, and or drop, this card gets plus 6000 power. So we have more use for having the Bardock's Crew everywhere other than just the Awaken. We can also then make some of these cards 10k, which is not bad. Obviously making them 15k would be broken, but depending how easy we can get those 4 different card name Bardock's Crew cards into all those areas. And we've got an auto, if your leader is a yellow Bardock's Crew card and you discard one card from your hand, when this card is played, your opponent can't attack your non-leader cards for the turn unless they choose one of their cards in active mode and switch it to rest mode each time. Not too bad. It's similar to the Riposte, except obviously it's always going to be a 1 cost, and it only triggers if our opponent's attacking non-leader cards. Still not too bad, but yeah, it's good to have the 1-drop negate regardless, and if we need, we can get cards into the drop area using the auto. Borgos, Feelings Bequeathed. An excellent card. So we've got counterplay, play this card for 1 yellow energy, 4k as well. Same permanent to get the plus 6000 power. Auto, when this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 7 or less and switch to rest mode. So phenomenal effect. Being able to deal with deflect now, as long as it doesn't have barrier and it's 7 or less, we'll be able to switch to rest mode, which is really good. Definitely going to be a staple in yellow. Fascia, Feelings Bequeathed, same permanent, and then we've got activate main, limit 1. If your leader is yellow Bardock's Crew and you discard this card from your hand, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 yellow Bardock's Crew card, energy cost of 4 or less, or a yellow unison specified cost of 2, so it's just a standard searcher. But it's good that we're able to discard this card, and it still counts towards the permanents in our Awaken and things like that, since we do count the drop area. Shigesh, Feelings Bequeathed. 1-drop, 4k, same permanent. When this card is played, draw 1. So if we're on our unawakened side, we play this, we get to draw 2 cards, which is not too bad, pretty good. Bardock Crew Leader, 4k, same permanent. When it's played, look at 5 cards, top of the deck, add up to 1 yellow Bardock's Crew card, energy cost of 4 or less, or 1 yellow unison, specified cost of 2. So another 1-drop searcher. We do want to have a large amount of Bardock's Crew cards of various character names and things like that, but it's good that we're able to play these cards, draw off our leader, and then do the search and things like that as well. We've got the SPR for the deck, Bardock Inherited Might. It's an 8-drop, 3 specified yellow, 25k deflect blocker Revenge. We've got an auto when this card is played from your hand. Place up to 4 non-Bardock crew cards with different character names from your drop under this card, and you can't play battle cards for the turn. So that's kind of why it's important to have each of the different character names for this deck as well, because as we get to the activate battle, you'll see why. Activate main for 3 energy. If there are 4 or more Bardock's crew cards with different character names in your energy, Z energy, battle area, and or drop, play this card from your hand. And then we've got the activate battle. If your leader is a Bardock's crew card and your opponent has 3 or more energy, and you use 1 card from under this card in a combo, switch this card to active mode. It's not a once per turn, and we're going to do our best to get the 4 non-Bardock's crew cards underneath, which means that we can swing 4 times for 30k, and then that 5th time for 25, which is really good. I don't think we have any other cards that can swing that amount of times in the one turn, so it's definitely a great card to slam down and get a just large amount of swings in for only 3 energy, which is sensational. Moving into some of the apes for the deck, we've got Great Ape Bardock, Saiyan Potential. It's 20k deflect auto for 1 yellow energy. If you have 3 or more yellow energy, when this card is played, play up to 2 yellow Great Ape Bardock's crew cards with different character names and energy cost of 3 from your deck with their skills negated for the turn. And then activate main limit 1 yellow energy. If your leader is a Bardock's crew card and there are 4 or more Bardock's crew with different card names in your energy, Z energy, battle, and or drop, play this card from your hand, draw 1, and place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of the deck. So, great way to get this card out, 2 energy, and then we get to play another 2 yellow Great Ape Bardock's crew. I've seen a lot of lists running Planet Vegeta to be able to untap these apes at the end of the turn. I personally couldn't find a place for it since I didn't really feel comfortable playing the Planet Vegeta early on. I'd much rather be playing the Bardock's crew cards, but either or, there is a lot of apes, so I can definitely see why you'd want to run Planet Vegeta, be able to swing with all of them, and then restand them at the end of the turn. Great Ape Borgos, Saiyan Potential, permanent. If you have 3 or more energy, this card gains dual attack, and then we've got the auto once per turn if it's your turn. When this card is switched to rest mode by a skill, switch to active mode, so it does have some great synergy with our leader to do the activate main. We get to switch this to rest mode, KO one of our opponent's battle cards in rest, and then this card will switch back to active mode. Activate main limit 1 yellow energy. If your leader is a Bardock's crew and there's 4 or more Bardock's crew, different names in all the areas, we get to play this card, choose one of our opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode. So pretty good for 1 yellow energy to play it, switch a card, and then have a 20k dual attack. Great Ape Tora, Saiyan Potential. This one's a 15k unique blocker. Permanent. If this card is in rest mode, your opponent can't attack your leader with battle cards. So pretty good, especially when we have this card in rest mode and then counter attack with the Tora, since we're then kind of putting a bit of a lock, since we're forcing our opponent to start swinging into most likely this card, given that it is in rest mode with the permanent, and then from there it can just be a bit more difficult for our opponent to kind of push through to our leader. Auto limit 1 generic energy. If your leader is a Bardock's crew card with its back facing up, at the end of a battle where this card was used in a combo from your hand, play this card from your drop. So pretty good. And auto once per turn. If it's your turn, when this card is switched to rest mode by one of your skills, switch to active mode. Great Ape Shigesh, Saiyan Potential. Permanent, 3 or more energy, it gains double strike. Switch to rest mode by one of our skills, switch to active mode, same auto, and then the activate main the same as well for 1 yellow energy. We play this card, choose one of our opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. So some great way to kind of KO some battle cards as well. We get to KO 2 things if we play this. KO with the Great Ape Shigesh, switch it to rest mode with our leader, KO something else, and then this will switch back to active mode. We've got Vegeta Unison of Fury, a sensational unison previously for a lot of yellow decks, but I think that it works extremely well with this one since we can switch our battle cards to rest mode using the activate main. Choose this card or one of your battle cards, switch to rest mode, add a marker to this card, so those apes will restand, and then we've got the -1 activate main, which is what makes this unison so good. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards, energy cost greater than their current energy until the end of their next turn. Just a puts so much of a lock on our opponent's battle cards, since everything in our card game right now is high energy cost for very cheap. So it means that our opponent is locked out of playing those cards, and they need to start putting pressure on the Unison. When you back that up with things like the Torah and some of the other cards that we have, that can make things really difficult for our opponent to remove it. And the longer this stays on the field, the better. And then the -3 activate main doesn't always come up, but when it does, it can be extremely powerful. Choose up to one of your opponent's energy, switch it to rest. This card gains plus 5,000 power, double strike, and dual attack for the turn. Being able to tap opponent's energy is always really good. Secret rare, we've got Bardock Origin of the Legend, one of the new secret rares coming out, and the God rare for the set as well, which I know a lot of people aren't too happy about, but I think we can all agree that the artwork is incredible. I really look forward to seeing that card in person, hopefully mine, but if not, I'm sure it'll still be amazing. It's an 8-drop for specified yellow, ultimate deflect, double strike, dual attack, 40k. We've got an activate main, 3 generic energy, so can be played in any Saiyan leader deck, because that's all that the requirement is. If our opponent has 3 or more energy and our leader is a Saiyan card, play this card from your hand, choose up to one of your opponent's cards and switch to rest mode. Again, the ability to switch energy to rest mode. And then activate main, remove this card from the game, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, ignoring barrier and KO them. And then during our opponent's next turn, they can only attack 1 time with battle cards. So really good kind of balance of offense and defense there. For 3 energy, 40k double strike, dual attack is really good. And then that activate main as well. So we're going to clear a couple of things off the board, ignoring barrier, and limit our opponent's attacks. Tyrannical Blow, a card that I find at the moment is just putting in a lot more use than what it has previously with the amount of floodgates running around. So counterplay, if your leader is yellow and if the battle card being played has an energy cost of 3 or less, it's played with its skills negated for the turn, and then choose one of our opponent's battle cards or unisons and negate its skills for the turn. I find that this card's really good against blue when they try and floodgate, especially if they've got Boo Unison out on the field. We can hit the floodgate and the Boo Unison so that they can't block or -1 and remove some of our cards. But a great card. I really love this in my decks. An old card, we've got Bardock Will of Iron. It's a 4-drop 20k double strike blocker, 1 energy for a 10k combo. Auto during your turn, at the end of a battle after you combo with this card, choose up to one of your Bardock and evolve it into this card. So a great way to kind of evolve into things like the 1-drop that we have, the searches and things like that. But you can also evolve over some of the other Bardocks that we have. But for 1 energy, to evolve it over the Bardock, that isn't going to be doing a whole lot other than just something to combo off. We can get a 20k double strike blocker, and if we do it on our turn unawakened, we'll get to draw a card, and if we do it on our awakened side, we get to draw a card regardless of whose turn it is. Vegeta's Final Flash, a staple in yellow, and we'll start getting into some of the more staple cards here. 1 yellow energy, activate battle, leader or battle card gets plus 15,000 for the battle, and if all of their energy is yellow, choose an opponent's battle card, ignoring barrier, negate its skills for the turn. Realm of the Gods, Black Kamehameha, activate battle, 1 yellow energy, choose one of your cards that gets plus 10,000 power, and then if it's our turn, choose an opponent's battle card in rest, KO it. If it's our opponent's turn, we get to draw 1, choose 2 of our opponent's battle cards and switch them to rest. Freezer's Army, 2 cost negate, play the token with blocker. If our life is at 5 or less, we can take the life from our life to our hand instead of paying the energy cost. And then we've got Mecha Freezer, Robotic Riposte, a card that isn't as useful as what it once was, but still puts in a lot of work. So it's a counterattack, negate the attack and play it. If our leader is yellow, our opponent has 2 or more energy, reduce the energy cost of this card in hand by 1 for each yellow extra card in our energy and drop area. And when it gets played, each time our opponent would attack with a non-unison card, they must choose one of their cards in active mode and switch it to rest mode. We don't need to worry about the activate main since we're not using the yellow Mecha Freezer with an energy cost of 4. The 1 Champer, always good. It always can be sneaky to steal games and things like that, especially with the Swift Retaliation Cooler, a card that people suspected to be on the ban list. Counter, negate the counter, play it, draw 1, and then if we have 6 or more cards, draw 1 more card. And then Mirror, Assault from the Skies. It's a 30k Overrealm 7 1 energy double striker. When we play this card, we draw 1, and then at the start of our opponent's next main phase, choose 1 of our energy and switch to active mode. So it's really good to be able to push that double striker in without worrying about tapping out and things like that, because we're going to get that energy back. Moving into some of the Z deck, I should say. We'll start off with the Z leader. So we've got Bardock, Saiyan Determination. We've got 3 Z energy. It's a 20k double strike with a Z Awaken for 1 yellow energy. When our life is at 3 or less over the yellow Bardock. We've got an auto once per turn. When you use a Bardock's Crew card in a combo, draw 1. Great way to cycle. Activate main once per turn. Choose 1 of your Bardock Crew cards, switch to rest mode. Choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, negate their skills and KO them. Again, some great synergy with the apes that we have in the deck. And then an activate battle once per turn. If it's your turn, for each Bardock's Crew card with different character names in your Z energy, this card gets plus 3000 power for the battle. So a great way to really boost up a 20k leader, but of course we do need to be low on life before we're able to play this card, but just being the base 20k does give us a bit of some defensive kind of pressure. We've got Son Gohan facing new foes. I think this card is a great yellow Z battle card, obviously suited more for the Piccolo deck, but still getting the 2 energy, 1 Z energy, deflect, dual attack is pretty good. We're not going to get the auto since we don't have the Piccolo leader, and the permanent isn't really going to come in too much of an effect for us since we're not using the EX Evolve, but if we don't have anything else to play, just having access to a 15k dual attacker with deflect is always good. Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku Evolved Defender, another great Z battle card coming out. It's 3 yellow energy, 2 Z energy, 25k deflect barrier. Auto when it's played, choose 1 of our opponent's leader, unison, or battle cards in rest mode, and it can't attack until the end of our opponent's next turn. So a great way to lock unisons if we're going to be playing a Mecha Freezer or things like that, and start forcing them to tap cards. If this card is in rest mode when your opponent plays a card, you may place 1 of your Z energy in the owner's drop. If you do, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or unisons and switch to rest mode and negate their skill for the turn. A great way to deal with some of the bigger unisons as well. If we think that our opponent's going to slam down a unison secret rare or something that's going to put a lot of pressure on us, we can play this card the turn before. And then Oolong Greed is good. A real cheeky kind of Z battle card that I think a lot of people will need to watch out for. It's 1 energy, 2 Z energy, unique, activate main once per turn. Choose up to 1 battle card in play, ignoring barrier. This card's power becomes the chosen card's power at the time you chose it with this skill, and at the start of your opponent's turn, this card becomes 4000, so it does revert back to its original power. But a great way to kind of pair this up with some of the other cards that we have, like the Mirror, the Secret Rare, even the Bardock and things like that, to get a 1 energy, 30k, 40k, 25k, just for that final push if we need to. Perhaps we'd run a couple more copies of this card instead. Obviously you are limited to 7, but I think that it's a great card for that yellow Z deck. And that's the Bardock's Crew deck, one that I am excited to play. I think I will mess around with the ratios for the Bardock's Crew as well. Currently at 55 cards, so probably could come down a little bit as well. But we'll see once the set actually comes out and we start playing around with these cards and how they work. But if you did enjoy the deck idea, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you at the next deck idea.